So I'll be switching over from house Wi-Fi to dogs are coming with me. From house Wi-Fi to shop Wi-Fi here in a moment. Almost dark. Hello again without shoes. Actually, I have on shoes. I have a shoes rule in the shop. It's important. Okay. I'm going to get set up on the computer, and I'm also going to turn off the air conditioner because it's chilly, yo. Just going to turn off one air conditioner. Let's see what kind of mischief we can get in tonight. Looks like my computer was just sort of running. Shannon will be right over. So I'm going to say, hello Harry Beastie, hello John C., hello Patrick Redding, Christopher Lazote, Michelle Schulte, Ryan Lippert, Stacy Hawkins, Rodney Pope, Tickle Hill Cemetery, Ezekiel Bradshaw, Chad Smith, Giselle Perrin, Cindy, what name? Ethan, Kim, Lisa, Rachel, Connie. Okay, that is all. And Jose, you snuck in, Jose, and L. Copeland. Pop out chat, make it bigger. Ooh, 400 is too large, 300 is good. Okay, hello everybody. Ezekiel, am I allowed to ask out loud what kind of guitar you got, or is your wife listening? I'd hate for her to find out that you purchased a guitar when you weren't maybe not supposed to. Let me know what kind you got, if you got one. The foot may be ready to pull. Let me stick my head in the other room and find out. The foot is not ready to pull. It still has some white bits on it, and my dog says hello. Still has some white bits, maybe by the end, but it's a very wet day. It's been raining here today, so they take longer to cure. There's fans on, but anyway, so my first order of business is I'll be pulling teeth. You know, sometimes some things are like pulling teeth. Well, tonight's shop work is going to be like pulling teeth because we have a gibbering mouther mold that I have made, and I got a lot of clay out. Wife, tell him you're here and say hi.
I already did.
Oh, wife says hi.
So good evening, comrades. It's the same guitar as the guy from Silverchair. Remember Silverchair? Same guitar.
We're talking to Ezekiel. He purchased the guitar illicitly today. You know how sometimes I say, honey, I accidentally bought a sword?
Yes.
Well, Ezekiel says, honey, I accidentally bought a guitar. So you might, Cheney,
Yeah,
Cheney.
symbols.
Cheney, where are you going? Huh? You want to leave the shop, huh?
That's delicious. Hello, the wife. Hi, Giselle. I get that a lot. Ezekiel says it's the same as Angus from AC/DC. Well, then that's fair. He needed that.
Yeah, I'm sure. So you might say that I have a sword problem. He has an axe problem. Oh! That was sword jokes.
Jim's jokes.
Pass it for humor around here, kids. You're gonna laugh and you're gonna like it.
Thank you, TZFX. How is everyone this lovely evening? 2 lives in 1 day has me in a great mood.
Okay, so this is the Tooth Extractor 2000.
Jordan's here.
Jordan, hey buddy. Happy day after your birthday.
Does Jordan know what happened?
Yeah, he was on. He was on that whole time.
About shipping.
What's that?
About shipping.
I don't know. I think he knows that his shipping is covered. He's got to get you an address.
Jordan,
Jordan's job now is to get an address to my wife.
Jordan, you've got to get us an address. We have a mask to send you, and these awesome people went and covered the shipping for you and everything, so you'd have a happy birthday. So all I need from you is an address. Oh, Stacy, you're very welcome. Quality test the ice cream. You are very welcome.
Okay.
There's more ice cream to come. Hello, Elsie Copeland. Ryan Lippert. Hello, everybody. Hello, Pops and Creepers. Hi, Gregory.
What's funny is when you're taking these apart, sometimes there are things that stay whole that, like, I think I will be able to get out this whole eyelid set up in one little whack. Yeah, see, that's an eyelid that was sculpted and added onto the main piece, so it came off in the same way that it was put on there with clay. Ah, not a crush it. Okay. And what I'm doing is I know there's a bunch of mouths in here. I gotta find one of those mouths so I can get the teeth out.
Ezekiel says, my kids are sculpting. I'm so happy you have such influence out.
You know what? Sculpting is cool because there's a lot of things in the world that you do not have control over. But if you know how to sculpt, you can make whatever you want out of clay. You can make whatever you want. That is something you have control over.
Lockhart says, when is ice cream time? You're only an hour and a half away. Locke, we had some family come in from California. I've got a very small family. There's only 7 of us. And so my brother and sister-in-law and my niece came in and sprayed them down with alcohol. We took COVID-19 tests. Made sure we were all cool.
It was a great time.
And I bought just a monstrous amount of cream and whole milk and rock salt and everything, and we just made ice cream every night. And as is my case, I bought way more than we needed, and so now I don't want it to go to waste. So I bought ice cream cartons and have started making gallons of ice cream that I'm going to store and give to neighbors and to friends and
Me!
saints.
Give ice cream to me!
So it's great for happening.
I'm sure it's keto friendly ice cream.
So there's a lot of ice cream happening. I can't bear to waste it. Rachel Powell, my in-laws just got here from Florida and they brought fresh Georgia peaches. Rachel, that is a blessing. What a wonderful thing. What are you gonna do with them? You just gonna eat them, or are you gonna make a cobbler or ice cream or something? Those are precious. Giselle says, my son was so happy the masks arrived and he loved the little surprises too. I'm so glad, Giselle. We got through that international shipping mess.
Yeah, Ezekiel was talking earlier about what a mess international shipping is right now. It's more expensive than it was before. It's a mess.
But we figured it out, and I'm so glad that worked out. Happy to Mojo. If Alan goes mad cleaning out the mold, that would fit the theme.
That's right, if I go crazy.
You right now they're crazy.
Yes, they cause insanity.
FX, I'm soon going to mold a mask for the first time. I dread the clay cleaning part.
Why do you dread it? It's not that bad.
Hi, Jerry Collins.
It's satisfying in a very different way than most things are satisfying.
Yes, Jordan, it can wait till tomorrow. Get your address to us and we'll give you a beautiful sheep ghost mask for your birthday. So just get it to us as soon as you can and then we'll get it in there for you. I'm sorry, Connie. Connie wants ice cream. With this night getting you better, I upped two baseball games, came home to a hot supper, now it's live. Awesome. What'd you have for dinner, Chad? What was for dinner? I'd love to hear what people are eating.
You want to help me clean this mold out? You want to help me clean out this mold? We're going to try and eat this clay.
Milk Code would save some for Monster Camp. You know what? We... Ezekiel, so everyone's getting a scoop in their package. Rachel's going to eat those fresh. You know what? I have a little countertop ice cream maker that's, just for, there's only two of us here. And for the family, Alan bought this beautiful gallon ice cream maker. And it's fantastic. And man, we're making way more. So, yeah. Pretty sure that there'll be ice cream on the menu at Monster Camps now because that was darn easy and it was fantastic. El Copeland went looking to dust off my sculpting tools and I can't find them.
That means you get to get new sculpting tools.
Ezekiel says, my daughter asked me, why doesn't Alan and Shannon have kids? My son goes, because they listened to Dad. Well, tell her that we have 7 kids. They're just 4-legged and furry.
Right.
And show her our mascot page on the website and she'll see our kids.
And I have haunted house actors.
Yes, you do.
That
They
are sometimes childlike
fully prep them.
and require maintenance.
Hello, Realms. Good Stevie. It just looks very time consuming talking about removing the clay. I sculpt in plastilina and it tends to get tough. So I think it might be a little easier than soft, wet.
Actually, I don't like cleaning oil-based clay out of the mold, but use a good release. And just make a barrier in between your clay. Make a barrier between your clay and your plaster, and you'll be okay. Have a dog pro wrestling match happening in the middle of the room while I'm trying to clean this guy out. Anybody have any mask making questions tonight? Anything?
Chad's daughter made meatballs and mac and cheese.
Oh.
Enigma says, I'm just imagining how much you would have to pay in shipping. You couldn't buy local. Hydrocal and wet are a lot of shipping.
Yes.
Road trip.
Yeah, I say if it's within 4 hours, just drive.
Load up some good music or some audiobooks, grab a friend, have an awesome road trip, stop somewhere and have a great meal and make a day of it.
And buy 5 or 6 bags, you know?
Load
And that way you have enough.
Hey, Alan and Shannon, I bought some Monster Maker's mask paints recently, and tonight was the first time painting with them. I don't know if you tried them, but they seem to clog my airbrush more often.
They're very cloggy. Monster Maker's paints for masks are. I've heard from a lot of people that they do clog airbrushes and they roll up. I don't know why. I'm not sure of what's in them. But Psycho Axeman, he was using those, and then he didn't like them. They didn't dry brush well, so I sent him some of mine, And just you mix your own. You know, that's the moral of the story is you can mix your own. And it is latex mask paint from Home Depot. I buy quarts, you know, and that's a quart. Well, because you're going to actually get 3 quarts of paint out of 1 quart of. You get 3 quarts of mask paint out of 1 quart of latex house paint, and that works out pretty good. Latex house paint, the latex you make masks with, and distilled water. Distilled water is important.
Brown says, it's true that you can use a power washer to get the clay out of the mold.
It's very true. Yes, I do it all the time. Now, I have a mold I made today. I made the foot mold. I made it out of, because of the detail in it and the way it is, I made that mold out of US #1 pottery plaster because I need to make 2, and then I'm going to make another. Then I'll mold those. I'll make those into bucks, and so I'll get. That's how I'll get my shrinkage and make smaller sizes. But anyway, yes, I won't power wash a pottery plaster mold, but I will power wash an ultra-cal or hydrocal mold. No problem.
Roots FX, I will send you pictures of my sculpt once I make another ear to put on it.
Cool.
Chad says, Al, did you see my post on Latex Mask Central? I'm having issues with a mold. Someone told me my mold is waterlogged. Have you ever heard of that?
Well, it's possible. It's possible that. How many times have you run that mold? How many masks have you made in it? Your mold can be too dry or your mold can be too wet. Both of those things are legitimate problems that happen to mask molds.
Have you figured out your paints as far as price is at Michael West?
Not yet. Right now, I'm getting labels and I'm waiting on bottles to come in. The bottles that we're bottling them into. I have just about everything else I need. I'm familiar with what my price point will be, so I mean my cost, but I haven't priced yet. I'm going to do that this week coming up, and then hopefully my bottles will get here, and I'll be bottling next week.
Have you tried that art cast resin from Biddy? It's pretty good for a slush cast.
Yes, I have used it. Yeah, I bought the pourable and the brushable, and I really actually like the brushable. It stays in this gel state for a long time, and that really allows you to do some different stuff.
How many mask pools can you get out of a pottery plaster mold versus an UltraCal 30 mold?
Well, UltraCal 30, you get 10 beautiful pulls, 10 okay pulls, and 10 not so great pulls. So, so 30 to 40 or so you can get out of that mold with some degradation. Pottery plaster, I think you're going to have that. You get 5 pulls that are beautiful, but it also depends very much. Like I would not mold this in pottery plaster because there's so much little detail, and those little ridges will break off too fast. That's why this one had to be in UltraCal.
Jordan says, my mother is sending me a dress. Thank you very much. I didn't even ask for this. I'm very grateful.
You did not.
Well, Jordan, again, these awesome people covered the cost. So
You have been asking me to make a sheet ghost mask for a long time.
so awesome.
And you have been consistent in your message and your love for sheet ghosts. If you champion my YouTube channel to people the same way that you champion sheet ghosts, then I'm going to have 1 million viewers, and I should support that. And then the good people who watch here, your fellow creepers, decided that they wanted to cover your shipping. So that was a pretty awesome moment that happened.
Chad asked about a waterlogged mold. Did you ask how old the mold was?
I asked how many pours he had done in it.
The answer is 6.
Okay, were they in a row? Was it 6 pours in 6 days? because that will waterlog your mold. Meaning, when it skins, what happens is it's absorbing moisture from the latex. So if it's full of moisture, well, then it it's got to make room for that rest of that water. So then it puts gas out, which makes bubbles in that latex skin.
Hello, Scott Bohart.
Hello, Scott.
Scott McDonald Jr. So I obviously don't paint as many mats as you do. So if I buy quartz, should I just buy the 5 basic colors? I'm using acrylics now.
Yeah, you can use the 5 basic colors and then mix everything from there. Black, white, red, blue, yellow.
Enigma says latex can be cast in silicone mold, right? You just can't cast silicone anymore in a silicone mold after latex has touched it, right?
So technically, no, you can't. Actually, yes, you can. The silicone won't ever wick the latex out of the mold. It won't wick the moisture out of the latex. So it's gonna take a longer time. But if you heat your silicone mold and it's warm, and you pour in your latex and let it sit for a while, and then pour it out and let that skin happen, let that dry, and then pour in another one, then you're going to be able to get a thickening effect on it. It's just going to take a lot longer than it would with plaster. So plaster is generally the way to go. It's easiest for me to say no, you need to use a plaster mold to make a latex mask. That's not 100,000% accurate, but that is the general consensus. And understand you're going to be doing weird stuff if you do it a different way.
6-string Tanya. Hi, did you coat the teeth with something so they didn't stick to mold? Also, I'm sculpting a mask of monster clay. Doesn't need a mold release, does it? I want to be able to reuse the clay.
Use Pledge as your mold release in between your clay and your plaster. The Pledge is wax, and your monster clay is wax based, so it's not going to hurt anything to have Pledge on it. Just Pledge furniture polish. That's what I use here, and it's great for monster clay also. Monster clay is kind of a bear to get out of a mold compared to like water-based, so I do like to use a release of some kind.
Oh my goodness, these puppies.
Alexa, what time is it?
It's 9:11 p.m.
Craig, he says just tuning in. What mold is this?
Alexa, count down 10 minutes.
What is the mask of?
Starting now.
This is the gibbering mouther sculpt that is now named Blob Squatch. It is named Blob Squatch.
I have a question. This is from Happen in Mojo. Do you think you could thin out a to-be expanding foam by thinning it out with distilled water and making a fairly large statue of quarter scale of a fight scene? I want to ship it whole.
I would try it on a small scale, but I wouldn't trust it because the AB foams, normally adding any water to it at all makes it expand more and causes bigger bubbling. So I don't know if you're skinning it first with resin or anything like that, but you're just like, think about bread. You might have much bigger holes in your foam because of the water that's been added. A lot of different eye forms used in this. This one was a wooden ball. Alexa, how much time is left on my timer?
You have 8 minutes and 30 seconds left on your 10-minute timer.
Okay, I don't want you guys to watch me pick clay out of a mold all night, so I'm going to switch gears as soon as that timer goes off.
Jordan says, thank you for paying for the mask, y'all. Jordan, your mom has written and gave me the address, so thank you very much. Chad says, the same person told me to bake my mold, brush in a release, and then run latex. Kind of goes against what I've heard of latex molds. Another told me to moisten it prior to dwelling.
Either one. If your mold is too dry, you'll get bubbles, but it sounds like your mold has just absorbed enough moisture. Honestly, if you let your mold rest a couple days, you'll probably see a nice difference. It's off-gassing from your mold. Is your mold too dry and the path of least resistance, the water just shoots air bubbles out into the latex as it travels through it? In which case you want to water the mold you spray it with some water, and then you do your pour, and the water wicks through the mold and it pulls the latex with it. Or your mold is a little bit waterlogged. Do not put a release inside of your mold. Please don't do that, because that'll stop it from wicking latex. If you think your mold is waterlogged, you might want to bake it. But you don't have to. Just let it sit for a little while. If you can handle a couple days without pouring a mask, let it go for 3 days. And you're going to come across a lot of advice that is different, just like you did on that problem. And some people really want to help and they don't know what they're doing. And I'm not mad at them, but they could mess up someone. And then there's other people who, maybe there's 5 ways to solve the same problem, and they swear there's only one way to solve the problem, and it's their way. And that's not true either. You really have to keep an open mind.
Rodney says, I enjoyed that ghost you did.
Yeah, I mean, pretty simple, but it's got they have a nice look. It's a classic look. And I know that Jordan likes skulls visible under his sheet ghosts. So I thought that would appeal to him.
Realms would like to know, can you use great stuff to fill a mold after you make a latex skin?
I wouldn't use great stuff, because great stuff is pretty bad about not curing in the middle, and also great stuff is rigid, so it won't be able to flex to get out of the mold once it dries. So what I would do is I would remove the mask from the mold and then use Loctite foam, which is similar to great stuff, in the mold to foam fill it.
Jordan is saying, thank you for paying for my mask. He says, there's only one way I can repay you with my parents' permission. I can make you a puppet. I have plans for a transforming Mr. Punch. How's that?
Honestly, don't worry about it. You're fine. Show me pictures of the puppet you make for you. I want to see it.
Hi, Julie B. Hello, Horror Beauty. Hi, Plastic Ninja. Okay, 6-string Slayer guitar band. Can you explain the process of making a latex master in case I want to remold my mask after a mold loses its quality?
Yes. I like the first time you make a pull in a mask, in a mold, the first time you pull it, you're going to learn where the air bubbles happen and that. Like, because sometimes you'll get air bubbles in the chin or air bubbles in the ears or whatever. And so the first time you pour it is probably not the best time to foam fill it and make a master. I like to do it on the second or third, where the mold has kind of edited itself a little bit, and you can, well, you know how to pour it. And then, so your third pull, let's say that this is my mold. Let's pretend this is a mold. You'd dwell your latex like normal, but I would paint all of this with latex. Paint all of this with latex. Drain it just like normal, but then my mask has this big, huge rim of flashing on it. And then I'm going to put probably a 3 to 5 pound foam in here that is flexible. 3 to 5 pound flexible foam. And when it is rising, you take plastic, like a contractor's bag, and you push it down in there so that you're only getting like this much thickness of foam throughout the whole thing. If you fill it all the way up, it'd be very hard to remove this mask. But if you use the plastic and get a thickness that's about this all the way around, and it'll look like a bowl, then you can peel it back and work it out of the mold. If you fill it all the way up, then you can actually cut it out with a knife, and then you'll get yourself the room, but it's a little more work that way. So, yeah, I mean, and then when you pull that out, that's your master, and you can make molds right off of that.
Tammy, whatever. That's a good name. Hi, Creepy Doll Creator here. Question. Do you have any recommendations on changing plastic doll hair color? I created a Pennywise thrift store doll, has brown hair, and I want orange. Hugs from Mesa, Arizona.
So that's nylon. The hard part about that is it doesn't normally take dye well. What some people will take okay, so that way is complicated. You could always paint it. Spray paint works pretty well on it if you're going to style it in one position. You want to mask off your head and all that, so spray paint is an option. It's an honest option. And then paint it like normal. Yes, it will kind of chunk it together, and you'll have to have care in how you do it. Or you could try to dye the nylon with more of a chemical dye, which I think would work. I have successfully dyed nylon in the past by using the purple PVC primer for PVC glue. I use that purple primer, and I put a dye in with that, an oil-based dye in with that, like leather dye. But you're fighting the purple, so it's easier to go darker with that. And I don't know that you could get from brown to orange with purple in the middle. You could remove the hair and just insert your own orange hair also. It's probably what I would do.
Enigma says, from a business standpoint, is it worth hiring a good painter to paint your masks instead of doing it all yourself when things get busy? Or is it best to keep overhead low and do it yourself? Alexa, stop.
There's not a lot of money in this. I'm going to be honest with you. So, and paint is going to be so signature. That's probably something that you want to do yourself because you're establishing a look for your brand. So I would recommend doing your own paint unless you just suck at painting, but then you want to get a painter from the get-go so that your stuff has a consistency to it. If that makes any sense. And I would cut that person in, not necessarily per hour, but I would cut them in on, based off of how things sell. And because then they feel more like they're in business with you, not just working for you. And I have always found that to be the best way to go.
Enigma, is the best way to do a foam reinforced latex display? Add cotton on the inside of a hollow latex cast and then pour the expanding foam inside so it grabs, or is there a better way?
I've done it both ways. Some people like the cotton inside because it gives some grab for it. But normally, I don't think it needs it. Unless your sculpture is really smooth, then you're going to have enough to create a mechanical bond. Even though it's not that great of a bond to begin with, the mechanical bond from all the lumps and bumps in the expanded foam is going to make it hang on there.
Chad Smith, it might be waterlogged then. I have been running a few in a row trying to get another good pool for you, but it keeps having lots of little bubbles. I can see light through.
Do you go in with an air compressor after you do your first brush in? Do your brush in, hit it with an air compressor, that should pop a lot of those bubbles. If more bubbles show up, then it's definitely coming out of the mold.
Body Geeks, hello.
Hello, Body Geeks.
Hello, Miss okay?
This is me pulling teeth out of a mold, but it's really coming. I mean, it's coming along.
Harry Beastie says, a problem I've had in the past is returning to old hydrocal molds and finding they have mildew on them. Do you think white vinegar and a few drops of bleach in the splash coat would prevent it?
No, I don't think anything will necessarily prevent it long term from storage, but that's how you remove it, is with vinegar. It just depends. I mean, put it in a bag, keep it, but it's going to be moist going into the bag. So mold is just a problem you're going to have to live with, especially in a moist climate. You know, you can get the silica gel packs and put silica gel packs in there with it and dry it out really good, and that'll stop some mildew and mold from forming. But it's very common in molds. And what you do is you vinegar out the mold, and you run one cleaning pull the first neck when you want to use it again, and you throw that cleaning pull out, and then you pour up your real one.
Chad Smith, so it's a good rule of thumb to give a mold 24 to 48 hours between pulls?
48. Yeah.
Big Monkey Fest. Tammy, this is the doll maker. I've dyed wigs using alcohol-based ink. Mileage may vary. The biggest challenge is going from a dark to a light color. I agree with Alan Thompson that it may be easier to remove the brown hair.
Yeah, sometimes that's just what you have to do. And that's not fun. That's not what you wanted to hear, but...
Hi, Linda Forbes. Body Geeks, Diva Kittens was posing this morning. I put her on Facebook Creepers for you, Jen. Oh, thank you! I'll look and see. I haven't been on. I've actually had to do some work today. I've been working, so I have not, and it's not just making ice cream, so I haven't had a chance to check any of social media, but I will. Especially if there's kitten pictures, because you know how I feel about it.
Yeah, and right now social media is not really fun to check anyway.
But the Creepers page is.
It is. The Creepers page is a blessed area.
Power Beauty says, Jones!
That was Jones. That's why the
It's
doggos
Jonesy.
are so excited.
Jonesy has come in and the pups are excited to see him because they are his buddy. Tammy, whatever. Thanks for all the advice. I removed the head. The problem is I chopped the hair to the length I need and made glue extensions all of the head. Scoop Chef. If you've had UltraCal for over a year, do you have any problems with the UltraCal mixing properly? Can it go bad?
When UltraCal goes bad, it kicks faster on you. So you'll end up with, instead of 25, 30 minutes of working time, you'll end up with 15 minutes of working time. So just be prepared for that going into it, and know that it might kick on you a little bit faster. Okay, so I'm setting that aside. It's not fun for you guys to watch me clean a mold. That is the ugly truth of what we do for a living. We have a lot of mold cleaning to do, but that's not fun for you guys to watch. And you deserve better entertainment value than this. Let's be real.
Stacy Lamont. RB says, better to hear something you don't want to hear with a solution versus not knowing.
Yeah.
Lisa says, actually, I find it relaxing.
Well, you know, there is a benefit to. I mean, it does. It is very soothing to clean the mold out, and then have that plaster revealed to you. Okay. Why? How about a quick story time while I reset? And I want you to talk about the Krampus event that we did last Christmas.
Last Christmas? Oh.
Yep.
Okay.
Talk about that and why it was different and why it was unique
Well, it was special.
and what was good about it.
Okay.
And while they're doing that, you guys can look at that wall.
Or puppies.
Or they could look at bugs.
You can look at puppies too. How about puppies? We're having a grooming hour. So, gosh, Krampus is, for many of you know, Krampus is a new thing for a lot of America. Well, it's only 10 years old, and that's still relatively new. And it is difficult for mainstream family festivals and holiday festivals to grasp a Christmas demon. And so many of you may have experienced that Krampus festivals, or not Krampus festivals, but Krampus may not be welcome at your hometown Christmas tree lighting. And in Plano, where Dark Hour is, they have a Dickens-style Christmas event every year. And Alan has been trying to get a Krampus sighting there, and it's been very difficult. They've said no, that's not what we want to do, and it's the answer's no, and you have to respect that. Dallas has a Krampus walk that they do down in the Deep Ellum Arts District, and that's a better venue for it. But he still was trying to make it to a family-friendly event, and one of the reasons why being that try to make it more accessible, because it's a very hard stereotype to break when you have people who are going to look at that and think it's dangerous, it's evil or whatever. And it's an uphill battle that he has going with this. He's championing a Christmas demon that is big in Europe but not well known in America. But finally, Plano said yes. There were a few stipulations. Alan took 4 other Dark Hour actors with him, and they looked awesome, beautiful Krampus. And but the sticklers was don't be there in the area of the tree lighting when they do the tree lighting, when the mayor is there and Santa, because, and that makes sense. It's not offensive. We weren't angry about it. It makes sense. No one's going to look at Santa when there's 5 Christmas demons standing there. No one's going to pay attention to the mayor. So it's pulling focus, and you have to be very careful with that, because nothing pulled focus away from some adorable Dickens carolers than stilt-walking Krampus. And this was proved over and over again, because every time they walked in to different areas, people just lost their mind. And it was well received. People were having fun. He very wisely chose some of his best professional actors who know that to do this properly, you actually have to pull back a little bit. And if there's anything about a haunt actor, you rarely ever tell them to pull back. But this is one of these moments where you have to pull back, be respectful, don't steal focus, and you had to be careful with how you performed. And fortunately, the ones he chose were outstanding actors who understood direction and were able to pull back, not go to a certain area until a certain time. We respected the rules. It went beautifully.
They had to read the room.
That you have to read the room, you have to read your audience. So when they first walked in, everybody just lost their mind, and the whole square just erupted, which invariably when Scrooge and Tiny Tim were doing their little thing, nobody was paying attention. So we had to be very careful and be cognizant of what is going around you. And I guess our advice for anybody, this worked out very well, but it had to be super calculated and respectfully done. So I know not many people are thinking of Christmas right now, but if anybody has in their mind with hopes that things are able to progress around the holiday season, and we have Christmas festivals, and you find that you're allowed to come to a holiday festival, family-friendly festival, which most holiday festivals are, tree lightings and whatever, and you want to bring a Krampus, and they allow you to do so, or if you just choose to show up as a Krampus, do so with respect, because it is an uphill battle we have as far as bringing Krampus to mainstream family-friendly. It's very easy to say, screw them, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to, blow it up, and you don't do anyone any favors when you do that. It's like a haunted house that behaves badly with a haunted house t-shirt out in public. You are now making our job harder, because we're trying to make this something that people are going to respect, understand, and appreciate, and it has so much to do with how it is perceived in public. So it went very well. It had to be very carefully done. We left before the show was over, before the festival was over, so everybody was still having their holiday fun. So we were there for about 2 hours?
Yeah, about 2 hours.
About 2 hours, but the festival went on for a good 3-4 hours, so we left respectfully at a good time, and were well received. Everybody loved the pictures. Everybody had fun. There's a lot of people who knew who Krampus was. I was very surprised, but mostly it was a very carefully. It's probably, I would say, the most carefully done promotional we have ever done, because we had to be accessible. You had to be accessible. You had to be respectful, and that's a choice, guys. And it went well, which means that if they have the festival again, chances are very good we'll be welcomed back, and people will start to see this as something to enjoy, something fun. I mean, the Christmas Carol has the Ghost of Christmas Yet to Come, which is a terrifying creature. The Christmas Carol is a ghost story, but literally this was done very cautiously, and it worked. So if you're going to do it, if it's a family-friendly event, choose wisely, and help for this awesome tradition to be one that can be done, with for years to come. But it's an uphill battle selling Krampus to the mainstream family-friendly sort of thing. And that's it.
Yes. So I'm going to go ahead and do the goat's horns, because that is something that you guys were very interested in last night. You wanted to see how I'm going to skin and finish the goat's horn. So,
Hey. Is one cow more prone to getting micro?
no, I would actually say the more porous the plaster, the more prone it is. So your hydrocal and pottery plaster are more prone to the bubbling issue.
I have a simple problem. I have a simple problem. I bought plaster of Paris before the informational video and have to wait a little longer before I can get started molding.
Okay. I would wait. I would wait and get good plaster. I would not rush it.
Cindy says I may be weird, but I like watching you put in moldings.
Well, I'm glad, because I have to do that a lot in my life.
Hi Shannon, you should check out Kitten Academy. It's a YouTube channel, 24/7 kittens.
You're not helping? Who said that? Who sent you that?
My new friend Tina.
Stacy, block him.
Oh my goodness. Kenny P, I vote puppies. Rodney, I like puppies.
Scott Colehart, you on here?
Oh my
Boot
goodness.
that person.
Thank you, Tina.
Sending her kitten video.
No.
We're trying to get stuff done. Whoa.
Ezekiel says, those weirdos that can't embrace the Christmas theme. Kenny P, Christmas, a family, promise, a family friendly. My former roommate is from Germany. It's part of her heritage.
Hooray.
Happened in Mojo, at a Dickens festival. They want to entertain a Christmas villain from European folklore. Have these people ever read Dickens?
Yeah, he's full of jerks.
Glad you were able to have a nice Krampus, says Julie. Nick Henderson. Hey, Alan, I'm doing a two-part mold, and I have two big holes on the mast shoulders where I'm going to put two. My question is, should I put some kind of cup lid in the holes when I'm making my mold wall?
Yes, you have to block those holes up, or else they're going to be an issue when it comes to pull your mask out. You'll probably get through your mold just fine, but you will not be able to get your mask out.
Until I found Alan's videos, I had never heard of Krampus.
Well, now he's kind of out and about. He's everywhere.
Christopher Lizzo. In Salem, Massachusetts, we have a Christmas craft fair in the old town hall. At the fair, we have Santa and Krampus and zombie Christmas carolers. We also have a Krampus art show and a Krampus walk. Yeah, Salem's always going to be ahead of everybody else.
That's cool.
Don't you do Krampus camps?
I do a Krampus lab where we make Krampus masks, yes.
Rachel, the sheep ghost would be an awesome ghost of Christmas yet to come. Yeah, you're right.
That's possible.
Gregory Haynes. Hi, Gregory. Hey, Hops. I sent an email request tonight for jumping stilt werewolf feet and legs. I hope Alan can show the complete build on live.
Okay.
Oh, that's so cool. Six-string Slayer guitar man. Thanks for answering my question about making a latex master mold. How would you make a master latex from a full two-head piece mask? Same way as a half mask?
Same exact way. Same exact way. Leave yourself enough room to remove it. You have to leave enough out of the middle to remove it.
1980, I'm bracing, but I'll read it. I have a little announcement. I finally found the person I've been searching for most of my adult life, and I feel a sense of accomplishment.
Hooray!
Stacy says, listen, I can't block over kittens. Thank you, Stacy.
Scott Coldheart, you with me? You with me?
Hap-
That's why I got more than one moderator, Stacy.
Happen and Mojo. What's funny is if I pitched a little boy Sambo and Krampus in some parts of Texas, guess which they would prefer? That's probably true. Well, not anymore, Happen Mojo. But Krampus is so new in many ways.
Here. He's new here.
He's new here. Jordan says, I love both kittens and puppies.
Jordan, don't encourage my wife. Did
1987.
she make a mask for you? No.
You guys fell for it, too. You guys suckers. 1980. Can't believe Waldo was on the merry-go-round the whole time I've been staring at that poster for 20 years. You bunch of suckers. Everybody's going LOL, shaking my head. 1980. I'm not falling for it. Nick Henderson. So mold the mask with the cup lids in, right?
Yep.
Thank you so much for your mask making wizard. You're a master wizard.
Well,
I did too, Happen and Mojo. Saw it coming. Chickasaw Moon says we need more Krampus and more cowbell.
the world needs more monsters. Okay, so I ripped up some shop paper towel into some strips. This way, every edge is ripped, and there are no hard, flat edges. Because I got some real big gaps here that I'm going to have to cover up and fill in.
Realms says my snake just fell over and my razors fell apart. Lord.
Oh. All right. So here we go. This is, what is this? Liquid Nails Heavy Duty. And I know I'm going to need the strips some. Just don't know how much. And this is when I get liquid nails all over the caulking gun. Because I just picked that sucker up with dirty hands. So this is also how shop accidents happen. And look what just stuck to my thumb. A pin. Danger, danger.
Joseph 777. I was wondering if you have any pictures of the bat face mask. Are they I wanted to see them.
Joseph, honey, can you pull some of the bat mask pictures? On Facebook, you can grab Batty Batty Bat Bat.
Right, but.
That's the latest one. And then, yeah, I have pictures, Joseph. And we'll try and get them. Are you on the Creepers page? Because I can put them on the Creepers page.
Joseph, first let us know if you're on the Creepers page. It'll be easy to post a picture there.
And you can see that this is just giving a coating to these horns.
Okay, I got you, Joseph. He's on the Facebook page, so let me put some pictures for you.
And you might think that this doesn't look good, but it's going to look good. It's going to at least look passable. All right. So where do these guys come in? I'm going to take one. Right over where this hole is. So I'm going to use it like a band-aid. I'm going to have that beat up in the back because the back is just visually less important. Before it sticks to itself, I'm going to put some more of the liquid nails there. So if you guys have felt liquid nails and how it hardens, you'll know that this is going to get very hard.
Okay, Joseph, I'm going to put some bat pictures on the Creepers page here in just a moment.
Joseph, you've been very patient, and I remember every time you ask me here, and then I forget because I'm a terrible person.
Terrible person. I'm a bad student. What's he covering that in?
This is liquid nails out of the caulking tube, and now I have strips of blue shop paper towel that I'm putting over my big seams. Because I want this to not have these big cutty, rippy seams in it. I'll put a little bit more. That's all my big seams, basically.
Okay, Joseph, pictures are up on the Creepers page.
And Joseph, it's good to see you on, sir.
You might ask yourself, Alan is a Talking Heads fan, confirmed. He's doing a song. Okay, thanks, Kenny. Got you. Realm says, my snake fell over and my facade broke.
Oh no. Weather? Okay, now see how this horn, you guys don't see anything way over there. See how that horn is nice and smooth now? I don't want it to be smooth, so I'm going to fix that eventually. But right now, that's helpful. And a few more squirtles in my hand of this. I'm going to cover this side. And I see a crease here that I forgot to cover. And there are a lot of ways that I could finish this out. I have a lot of options. I'm probably going to let this first layer dry while I move on to some other things. Because then I'll put another layer on that I kind of run a comb through, and that'll put a bunch of ridges. These horns were pretty cut up. If the horns are not really cut up like these guys were, then I would just ridge this layer here. But when I put the ridges on, it really makes it look realistic.
Good night, body geeks. Hope to see you soon. Kitty P says, I had a blind dog make his way up to my workbench and panicked not being able to get down and pushed half of my new mask mold to the floor. Guess it would now be a half mask, but that is okay.
Take care of that pupper.
We had a blind dog for a while too. Skin and Bones says it's gonna suck if they cancel Halloween this year.
They won't cancel. They can't cancel Halloween. Halloween is a date. And if you take Halloween and hold it in your heart, then they can't even get to it. Make it Halloween wherever and whenever you are. You have that power. I'm not worried about them canceling Halloween, because when I walk around, I am Halloween. And you can be the same and have that same attitude. All right, so that has to dry.
Stanley says, always like watching the different ways you modify and adapt. Kevin Mojo says, Squirtles, Alan, Pokemon fan confirmed.
You're finding out so much.
Kenny P says he's blind, deaf, and has seizures. Thanks to you, but I do. Thanks for taking care of that puppy, Kenny. Skin and Bones, listening to Nox Arcana while watching. I love this. Ooh, that's good music.
Zach, what I'm smearing on the horns is heavy duty liquid nails. So that's going to dry with a hard plastic. I'm going to do another coat of it also. And when I do another coat, I'm going to run a comb through that, and I will get the ridges that you see in a goat's horn.
Little Carrot says, if they come for Halloween, the bad pumpkin will come for them.
That's right.
How much is the goat mask?
Oh boy. Let's do the math. He's a full head mask. So that starts him at 100. He has horns. That adds 25. He's going to have hair. That adds 25. He has separate latex teeth. I believe he'll be 175. He's 175 for a stock goat mask. If you want something custom or special, then we'll have to adjust accordingly. Currently, I'm getting all of the liquid nails off of my tripod that I got on here when I moved it earlier. And I will say that that is the cleanest my tripod shaft has been in a long time. Turns out liquid nails is a fine cleaner.
People, Captain Mojo says, people give me a weird look, though, if I dress up in steampunk dirigible pilot asking for candy in February. Well, that's true.
You know what? That might be true, but I bet some people would still give you candy.
We'll give you ice cream.
Let's make Karen all drooly and stuff. The dogs have the whole shop to lay down, but they're right where I want to be working. Jerk faces. All right, so Karen, a couple things we want to do to Karen. I bought eyelashes just for Karen. So I have some eyelashes that we're going to put on her.
Christian says, yay, horns.
I have an
Walking
adhesive.
Good says that's a great price.
I tried to be fair in my pricing. This is Wispy's fake eyelashes. I'm going to try and put them on the top and the bottom. I'm going to try to not glue an eyelash to my finger. Let's see how I do.
Let's see.
If you want to freak out a lady in Walmart, be a dude like me and ask her to direct you to the fake eyelashes. And then keep telling her, no, I want bigger. No, I want bigger. No, bigger. She'll assume that they're for you. And it was just so fun, I never actually dissuaded her.
That skin texture is truly sickening. Skin and Bone says, totally fair price, but put so much into your work. Captain Mojo says, did you ask to speak with the manager when you bought those lashes?
I did not.
Harry Beastie, for a second I thought you had given Karen a second name. Karen O'Doon. Lisa says, I really like her skin tone.
Thanks. And the glue that I'm using, it's a glue that they actually don't make anymore. It's called 9001 or something 1006. It's basically E6000. And I don't think they normally put fake eyelashes on the bottom. But since when are we normal around here? There's something extra creepy, by the way, about a mask with eyelashes, in my opinion. So, I'm not going to put a lot of makeup on her because if she is from the 1870s or 1890s, then I don't think she would have a lot of makeup. But also, it's the plague times, so I don't think she's looking her Sunday best to begin with. And I put this lash on upside down. It was on, but the curl was the wrong way. You know, you want these lashes curl up and these lashes curl down. Should I do a dash of blue eyeshadow up here to complete the Mimi look and maybe a hair bit of red lipstick? Make her a little more made up. Let's do that.
Ezekiel says, Karen Hobbs, where's the fan manager? Love to see you in that thing out.
I will throw it on.
Chad Smith says, I just finished strapping 9 mats. Finished strapping 9 mats. I followed your lead and switched to elastic. So much easier to attach with contacts.
Is it also more comfortable? I switched because I thought it was more comfortable.
What about her eyebrows?
I think that she drew on her eyebrows.
Says she belongs on peopleofwalmart.com. Karen has some nice teeth. How much is she? How much is Karen?
Okay, so just like this, I can't sell you because this was made for Dan McCorson. This is a custom commission. Now I can do something similar, but it can't be exactly like this because that wouldn't be fair to Dan, who basically paid for this to be molded. So I would do something a little different.
Barbie says they did not wear a lot of makeup. In fact, most women went in back doors and alleys to get makeup because it was found, because it was found, you were found out. They said, yes, eyeshadow, she's a hussy. Yes, on the red lipstick, that would be a great zombie mask. Mr. Ginny. Very versatile mask, says Lisa. She looks like Divine for Pink Flamingo. John Waters would be proud. She needs to see a dentist. Yes, says Chad. Elastic is much more comfortable.
Yeah, that's why I switched. Just a little bit of blue eyeshadow. But you'll be surprised to know I'm doing with latex mask paint. I just have some on the brush. Very little on the brush.
96 people are watching.
This is my big moment. 96 people are watching, and I'm putting on eyeshadow. We got to be fancy.
Hey, Jones.
My current challenge is that Cheney wants to sleep right under the tripod.
Jones is patrolling.
And now, for the piece de resistance. We're going to go back to that. This is where I regret some of my future decisions. Oh no, look, I got another one. I thought I was going to have to use the one I just covered in liquid nails, but I have a clean one. Yes. I love it when life lines up in such a way where I don't have to clean up after myself. That is why I'm married. Probably shouldn't have said that out loud.
God.
I kid.
You said sneak guy.
I kid.
You're welcome, Joseph, glad you can see them, the bat pictures.
Oh, did you like the bat pictures? Are my bats pleasing to you?
Roger says she looks like she gets sister mama's sister. Ed Gene's mom.
Okay. So this type of caulking tube is a little bit different because this is a Gorilla Glue, by the way. Gorilla Glue, max strength, construction adhesive, clear. You have to unscrew this piece and clip this off. So this you do have to use a knife for. My caulking tutorial is still true, but not for this particular tubo. This is a cheaper gun, so it's a little harder to use. All right, here we go. It's time for Drool Central. Sorry,
You're still gonna
Cheney.
do the hair on tearing into a bun?
No, I decided not to go with a bun because I don't think her hair style is even going to stay. She's coming out of this plague town, you know. I don't think her hair would necessarily be styled. Now this stuff I kept in the fridge, so it's really thick.
Chad says agreed. If anything, it would be a messy one. Loose, messy braids on the sides, like they fell out of a hairstyle, would be period appropriate. Lisa says she loves the backstory of this too.
That is all Dan McCorson. Okay, so I'm hoping that this is going to start to drip a little bit, that big blob I just put on. And as this gets warmer, it's going to run a lot more.
What caulk are you using for the Drool?
Gorilla Glue, max strength, clear adhesive, construction adhesive, clear, Gorilla Glue. That is a lot of gross drool, yammet. Gross. So disgusting. I got a good hanger. Oh, I lost it.
Skin and Bones says it looks amazing.
Hey, thanks. Okay. And I'm gonna just take a little bit of this.
Amy Royce says the mask latex works to fix my props.
Great.
Mr. Conrad, Captain Mojo, you could somehow make the haircut jagged and asymmetrical like a broken pane of glass. A true killer.
Well, if there's a modern version of this one day, maybe.
1980 says, I'm picturing this one with an asymmetrical bob haircut.
All right, so that is a yucky Karen.
You might have to get a modern day Karen.
I will have to make one. And I'm not going to put her hair back down. I will put her hair back down kind of in her face. Right now, I don't want that her hair to stick to her drool.
Or maybe she got the ratted. Applause for Karen. Beautiful. The hair should have a bad attitude, just like her. Ezekiel says a modern version needs a CC to build versus best.
Like a Phyllis Diller type haircut. I'm setting them both up so they can drool into a garbage can.
Yes.
I think I just flung construction adhesive into my hair. It'll be fine. Okay.
Zombie hairspray. What part of rural America are these folks from?
I would have to ask Dan. I don't actually know.
Evidence says she's got the bug. Horror Beauty wants the backstory. I don't think Dan's on tonight, but the backstory, he does have a backstory for this.
Yeah, there was a plague town, and people are going through it again. That's his haunted trail, and there are still people left over. I don't know if they're ghosts or if they're descendants exactly or what, but they're still around. They still have this plague. I don't know how gung ho I would be with the plague theme this year, but you know what? You want to do it, you do it.
One last master latex mold question, I swear. If you make a two-part mold, can you just fill foam to the top to make it solid?
You might have a hard time getting it out. If you fill it to the top, then you're going to have a hard time getting that foam out of there.
1980 says they screamed episode of Cops Orlando.
Yeah.
103 people are watching.
Hello, 103 people. So I just put that up there so I could use it as an adhesive to build him some brows.
Roger says, I think they said they are blaming the traveling medicine man for the plague.
That's right. Yeah, there's some kind of a medicine man also, a snake oil salesman, who they're blaming for the plague.
Hello, Misty Jezereski. Gosh, I hope I said that right. Jezereski? Amy Royce, do you have an estimate of how much it would cost for you to sculpt a Unit 70 screaming child face?
Well, if Unit 70 already sells it, then buy it from them. I don't want to redo someone else's work. That's not very nice. But sculpting a child face, then you're talking, you know, sculpt and mold, half mass style, probably $250. All this drool is just so gross. Ugh.
For the end of the nostrils look moist.
Sometimes, yes.
Don't forget to give Darren some scraggly nose hairs too.
You guys are obsessed with nose hair. Is that Edie Blunser?
No?
She's
That was
obsessed with
really
nose
handsome.
hair. Everything I do. She should make some hair coming out of his nose. I think it's because she is probably in the over 50 crowd, and most of the dudes she knows has a lot of nose hair. So, you know, she's going with what she sees, and I get it.
That was really handsome. Misty Jurioski, is it me or does it look like Karen is glaring at Derek from the corner of her eyes?
That's how she rolls.
Don Prather, awesome mask. I always love watching your creations.
Oh, thank you. So the way that I'm building up these eyebrows, a lot of times I see people just lay like one long hair all the way across, and that's just not good.
Ezekiel says Darren is deaf in the left ear. Marriage wars.
So I kind of do them like shingles or scales, where I start on the outside and work my way in, and each one covers up the tab of the other. But they're all short hairs this way, and it's a little more believable.
Amy says, I guess I'll contact Unit 70 to see how much a child faces.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if they already do it, you know, then I shouldn't do it. That's their thing.
Lisa says they're going to scare the snot out of some trial patients.
I will tell you though, Distortions also does scary children, and Distortions price is going to be cheaper than Unit 70's. And if their prices, both of them, are just exorbitant, then message me and I'll see if I can help you out. But I won't do anything exactly the way that they do it because, well, they're already doing it. Okay. Let's get a little bit of this moisture in the nostrils. That's what's suggested. So gross.
Zach says Unit 70 has a pretty hefty minimum order, I believe.
Unit 70 is just pricey, but yes. I just don't want to be the guy who rips off other vendors. That's not me. I would like to have my own original ideas sometimes. Okay, so we have Karen and Darren done.
Fantastic.
The goat horns are coming along. We're still drying. Yeah, it's a wet day, so things are going to take a little while. Let me check on our monster foot and see if we can pull it.
Just Captain 159 says good evening, pal.
Hello, good evening.
I can see a very evil Bozo the Clown with that red hair. It's good red hair.
I'm going to do a test and see if it's ready to pull. Pretty white, but this isn't a high torque sculpture.
How do you test pull?
How do I what?
Test pull.
I'm just going to peel it back a little bit. Come on, you guys can see. My wife You know why she's not going to get up and do the camera like she normally does?
Can't help it.
Here's why. Here's why. She's supposed to be working. She's in here working. That is the reason why she won't come and hold the camera.
It's my boy. Oh.
Yosemite Sam.
Oh.
Okay. I think it's ready to pull. So now I'm going to make sure I get lots of powder up in here, because dry latex will stick to dry latex. Whenever you pull something out of a mold that's latex, powder. It'll stick to itself, ruin your whole day. Might not come apart again. First monster foot out of the mold. And this mold is actually U.S. Pottery Plaster number 1. I molded this guy earlier today, and I poured it up earlier today. And here is a monster foot.
Gregory Haynes says, my wife is also a prison with tech paralysis.
Yep. It happens to lots of people. The silent killer in the United States. More people are
He says
afflicted.
it looks good. Those Godzilla feet.
These-
Monster toes.
These are lots of different monsters' feet, depending upon how I paint them.
Are distortions unlimited props good quality?
Yes, they are, actually. They're very good quality. They tend to hold up and last a long time.
How will the monster foot not flop around?
It actually fits pretty good on that shoe. So that's how much flop it has right there. Now, I haven't put any foam liner in it yet. When I put foam in there, it's going to grip even better onto the shoe itself. And I'm actually going to take my next pull of this, and I'm going to foam it. But I wanted to see what the first pull looked like. I'm happy with this. This is a good looking foot. This size shoe is an 11. So I'll probably make this like a size 12 monster foot. Remember, latex shrinks. So if I do another one of these, foam it, and make a mold, I'll have a size 11.
How long have you been in the Halloween industry?
Oh, and then if I make a mold of that one, it'll go back down and be a 10. So I can keep making it smaller. I've been in the haunted house industry about 35 years. In the industry, let's say 30. But I've been doing haunted house stuff for about 35. Yeah, right, stuck to the sides right there. Nice, I think I'll be able to get the shoe on. That'll be lovely.
Hello, Chad, Flyboy 8. Harvey says I have a much smaller foot, 7.5.
Yeah, and I can keep, the great thing is that I can keep foaming this and making a mold, and it'll keep going down in size because the latex will keep shrinking.
Rachel says those would make amazing house slippers.
You're absolutely right, they would. They would make lovely house
Are you
slippers.
going to foam the shoes into the foot?
That's an option. It all depends on how it's done. I like this foot style. I think it's going to have some good movement to it.
1980 says, wonder what a three-toed version in blue would look like with, say, a purple hooded evil sorcerer costume.
I don't know. We might find out one day.
Gregory Haynes, great looking foot.
So yeah, that's latex foot. So what we do, I showed you guys something on the goat. I finished up Karen and Darren. We got them looking all drooly and happy. We did her makeup. We did a layer on the goat horns, and I'll finish those off tomorrow. Not a good drying day. And we pulled a monster foot, and we got our dogs passed out, which is important.
Maybe Royce would like to know what Halloween company that sells bad quality products.
Really? Scare Factory. What? I can't say that. They fall apart. If you have a welder on staff, then buy stuff from Scare Factory. But they don't put gussets on their welds. Their stuff looks nice, but it doesn't hold up long term. I don't think I'm saying anything mean. I'm just saying they need some better quality assurance, in my opinion.
Stacy says, flock them and bring fuzzy monster slippers to the Christmas gift exchange.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
That's a great idea. Krampus foot time.
Yeah, let me trim this real quick. I was about to say goodbye, but now I want to trim that foot.
Hi, Kirk Mattia.
Hello, Kirk.
Amy says, I have a ton of war skeletons from Scare Factory, and it has had issues from the start.
Yeah.
Stephen Scott says, I made a monster foot by just covering a pair of cheap Walmart house shoes with white fur.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it. One of the things I thought about doing was just sculpting a toe cap to glue onto different shoes, and I'll probably do that at some point in time. But this, I wanted a whole cover. And I kept making this pretty tight to the shoe, but I do want a generation or two of shrinkage. Don't hear that every day, do you? To get it a little tighter.
Scare Factory also overprices all their products.
You know what? I don't agree with that. Some, like this year, they had those, were they 12-foot tall skeletons? And they were only like $1,500 a piece. That's not bad at all. That was a good price for that size. But some of their things are pricey. You have a welder on staff, and by all means. Because, you know, the first thing you do is put gussets on everything, every corner. This is so fresh out of the mold, it definitely needs to firm up. This is a little floppy simply because it's fresh out of the mold. As it ages a little, it will become stiffer.
What is a gusset?
So a gusset is when there's two pieces at a right angle, and then it's a angular piece in the middle that gives more surface area for both welds. A gusset.
Camera is on the TV like still feast Inception.
Yes.
Don't forget to put a damp rag in the gibbering mouthers so you can clean them out later.
I will, thank you. Not I will forget, but I will try to do that. I'm gonna put this shoe on, but you don't need to see my man feet.
Thank you, Stacy. She put in the pump review.
Okay. Not glued, not attached. This is a monster foot. That is flopping a little. Once I put a foam insert, a foam ring. Now I like the length. I like the fact that the toes move a little bit. But I'm not going to trip over it. That's good. Doesn't stick out that far.
This is so neat. Wrong answer is when Gus is no longer standing, Gus sits. One guess.
1980.
Hey, that was one of the better ones from 1980. I read it. Ezekiel. Oh, Dad, can we get some monster feet?
That's what you need in your life. It's monster feet. Can I take off the monster foot? Put back on my slidey shoe. All right. So now you guys have seen it all.
95 people are watching.
It is 10:30. I'm gonna say goodnight for the night.
What are your thoughts on doing game characters?
Game characters? Like what kind? And like in what fashion? And I knew I got some of that clear.
Chuck E. Cheese flashbacks.
I got that clear adhesive on my hair. That's fine. It's like hair gel.
Hair's gonna be long. Quarantine hair, but it looks good. You look good for long hair.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get that
Jen,
out.
Rodney, what did you?
What kind of game
think of
characters?
Game characters.
But I like game characters. I think they're fine.
He says my son plays WoW.
Oh, World of Warcraft, yes. Nothing wrong with WoW. That's fun. Make some monsters.
Rachel Powell told me something about Mary Mom.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and it's like it's right there.
Rachel,
It's
no.
what happened was
Tell Rodney about about the water monster that you made. The WoW monster.
oh, so he might not know. He said his son plays. He might not play.
But I have a picture of it. Not
Okay.
the Creeper's page.
So way back when WoW was even more popular than it is now, I made a Murloc from the WoW game from my monster museum. They're the sea monster with the spiny backs that go, you
How
know,
do you spell Murloc?
Murlock. Okay, the drool's not dry yet, but it's getting there. And anyway, all right, so we're going to go. Lovely evening. You guys are great. Thanks for hanging out with us. I'm gonna have Alan on the TV wave goodbye. I have to do this first, so I have to wave goodbye. Now we'll see Alan on the TV wave goodbye. And now my wife will say goodbye. And I say,
Thanks, guys.
go make stuff!